For your safety, please ensure to read the full disclaimer located in the description below this video before you start your virtual training. Hey everyone, Adrian Parks here, fitness and sports coordinator out of Toronto. A few housekeeping items before we get into the specifics of the workout. When you get the chance, please feel free or be sure to check out the Toronto PSP Facebook page and follow, as well as following and subscribing to the CFMWS YouTube channel where you can find a whole bunch of workouts and PSP content. If you do sustain an injury at any point in time throughout this workout, please be sure to fill out a CF98 and submit it to your local PSP staff. Of course, we want to avoid any injuries, so that I will do what I can to show modifications throughout the workout. But at the end of the day, you know your body best, so be sure to listen to it. Stop an exercise if anything doesn't feel right, or if you need to, you can always just stop the workout if something feels off. We're going to be doing a full body workout in a circuit style today. The only equipment we're going to need is going to be some form of weight. So I've got a backpack, I've got it loaded up with some books, and I've also placed a towel in there just to help it into moving around. If you've got a kettlebell or a dumbbell, you can use that as well. It's completely your choice. You can load up a backpack as you feel needed. You can use a bottle of laundry detergent, or a bag of kitty litter, anything you've got at home that will work. A yoga mat or a towel is optional. We're going to be doing a side plank at one point in time, so my elbow's going to be on the floor. Depending on the type of floor that you're on, you may want something to put your elbow on top of. Other than that, that's all the equipment we're going to need. The way this workout is going to work, like I said, it is in a circuit style, a full body workout in a circuit style. We're going to be doing supersets or paired exercises together, back to back, with a bit of a break, and then we'll move on to another pairing back to back. Each exercise that we do, we're going to work for a total of 40 seconds of the work period. We'll have 10 seconds in between each individual exercise within the pairing, and we'll have 20 seconds in between pairings. For example, we'll start with exercise 1A. We're going to work for 40 seconds. We have 10 seconds. We'll do exercise 1B for 40 seconds, and then we'll have 20 seconds until we move on to exercise 2A for 40 seconds, 10 seconds. Exercise 2B, 40 seconds. We'll take 20 seconds, and then we'll move on to the next pairing. We're going to do a total of 4 pairings, or 8 exercises in total. We'll go through them all. After we've gone through them once, there's a 1.5 to 2 minute break we'll take, and then we're going to repeat that again for a total of 3 repeats. So that's the main portion of our workout. We'll start with our warm-up, we'll do the main portion, we'll have a little bit of a finisher, and after the main is done 3 times, and then we're going to have a cool down. Before I go into the demonstration exercises we're going to do, I'm going to give a quick rundown of 2 of the cues that I'm going to be using, just so you're aware of what some of the language that I'll be using. You understand kind of what I'm saying. When you're working out here today, or any of the workouts you do outside of here, and almost all the exercises you do, you're going to want to make sure that your core is engaged and activated. So I'm going to say one of the cues I'll use is get ready to take that gut punch. So if you were going to get hit in the stomach, or if you were on a soccer field and the ball was coming to your stomach, the way you would tense up. If someone was going to hit you, tense up really quickly. We activate our core, our abdomen. So when we saying that, that's engaging our core. I might say build that armor in the core. Okay, so build that armor in the midsection. You can think of that in the sense that, again, someone's going to hit you in the stomach. You tense up. You're building that armor so you're ready to take that gut punch. Also, when we engage our core, if I've got a neutral spine, so my back's flat for the most part, I engage my core, I'm actually protecting my spine. So you can think of it as building the armor in your midsection to protect your spine, or building armor to take that gut punch. So again, 2 things that you hear me say. Okay, let's take a look at the exercises we're going to do in the main portion of our workout. So the first exercise that we're going to do, our first pairing, is going to be a squat and press, followed by an RDL and a bent over row. So for the squat and press, grab your bag or your kettlebell dumbbell, however you like. You can use the handles, or you can go into either side. We're going to want to hold our weight in front of our chest. Feet are going to be about shoulder width apart, or hip width apart. Our toes we can point out just slightly if you'd like to. That's completely up to you. Our chest is tall. Again, we're going to do that gut punch thing, sitting our butt down like we want to hit it to a chair, standing all the way up, pressing our weight up to the sky, and then we're squatting down again. When I'm squatting down and then pressing up, I don't want to arch my back excessively, so again, think about that gut punch, super tight in the core, have a nice tall chest when I'm squatting down and pushing up. Then we're going to go into RDLs. For these ones, again, super tight in the core, so we've got that gut punch, holding our weight on the sides, we're folding at the hips, reaching our butt back like we want to hit it against the wall behind us, until I get to the point that my hamstrings are fully stretched so I can't fold anymore, and then we're going to row our weight into our chest 3 times, and then we're snapping our hips forward to stand up nice and tall. Again, reaching that butt back like we want to hit the wall behind us, rowing that weight in 3 times, and then standing up nice and tall. That's the first pairing. Next pairing we're going to do is going to be a glute bridge and press, followed by a plank and shoulder tap. So for the glute bridge, we're on our backs. Hips, knees, ankles are in line. We're going to push our heels into the floor, hips up to the sky. Again, nice and tight in the core. And then we're pressing our pack up to the ceiling, continuously. 40 seconds, we'll put our pack down. We're into push-up position. And again, super tight in the core, so building that armor in here. Maybe think about taking an imaginary drink, placing it on my lower back. I want to balance it there. And then we're just going to do shoulder taps. So opposite arm, reaching up, touching opposite shoulder. The goal here is to go slow and controlled without moving the hips side to side excessively. Feet wider apart, giving me a stronger base, makes it a little bit easier. Feet closer together, much more of a narrow base, makes it a lot more challenging. Next pairing of exercise, we'll have 20 seconds. It's up to you if you're using your backpack. If you want to remove a little bit of weight for our last 2 pairings, we're going to a lighter dumbbell or kettlebell. You may need to. We're going to do a reverse lunge with an overhead carry. So I'm stepping back and then driving that knee up towards the ceiling. Pressing my hand all the way up to the ceiling the entire time, standing nice and tall. When we get halfway through that one, so 20 seconds in, I'll say switch. Other arm is going to be holding the pack, and then we'll go to the opposite leg. So we're just stepping with our opposite foot and opposite hand the entire time. So opposite hand up to the ceiling as the foot that we're lunging with. When we're done that, we're doing a lateral shuffle and touch. So we're going to squat down in that athletic stance, or the squat position you started with. We're going to do a side shuffle, opposite hand reaching down towards opposite foot. We're going to do this for the duration of 40 seconds, moving at whatever pace you like. Our last pairing, we'll go back to our pack or our weight. Again, might be a little bit lighter than what we started with. We're going to do a lateral lunge and press, followed by a side plank. So lateral lunge, again, just like at the start, we've got our weight in front of our chest, stepping out to the side, squatting down, pressing out, and stepping back to the middle. Out to the opposite side, punching that weight out, digging through the heel, pushing back to the middle. And then lastly, we're doing our side plank. This is where you may want to use your yoga mat or a towel. We're just going to go into a plank. So I've got my shoulders stacked, hips are stacked, so they're not back or forward, one foot on top of the other, and we're just going to hold it nice and tight. When you get through 20 seconds, I'll say switch, we'll just flip over and then do 20 seconds on the opposite side. So those are the exercises we'll do. That would be 1 round done. We'd have 1.5 to 2 minutes, and then we'd repeat 2 more times. So we're ready to get into the warm-up. Last note before we start the warm-up. I'm not going to be playing any music here. Obviously, we need to make sure you guys can hear me. So feel free to place your own music in the background, give you a little bit of motivation, and make sure you've got your water bottle close by. Okay, we're ready to get started with our warm-up. So we'll start out nice and easy. We're just going to go up, lifting one knee up, tucking it in towards the chest, going back and forth, switching between which leg we're lifting up, tucking it in nice and tight to the chest. We'll switch to doing the same thing, but we're lifting our foot back, tucking our foot in towards our bum, going back and forth. We're just going to walk forward and back the space that you have, making arm circles. I'm starting out making small arm circles, and then they're slowly getting larger and larger. Again, use whatever space you have. If it's limited, that's fine. You're just taking a few steps forward and back. Let's go arm circles backwards as well. We'll stand on the spot, and we're just going to go into jumping jacks. So arms out to the side, feet out to the side. We're just going to do some jumping jacks. Again, this is nice and light. We don't have to move super fast. This is the initial part of our warm-up. So just slowly bringing the heart rate up, loosening up the muscles and the joints, preparing them for the workout that we've got coming next. Good. Let's go back to high knees. This time it'll be a little bit faster. So we're just going to go high knees. We'll get our arms involved. We're going to go a little bit faster than what we were doing before. Go into butt kicks, so same thing as we did at the start. Again, it's just a little bit faster, and we've got our arms involved. Again, we're doing opposite arm, opposite foot, just like we would if we were running. Good. We're going to go into a lateral shuffle and touch. So we saw this in the, we'll be doing these in the workout. So let's just get into a nice athletic stance. We're going to go into a squat position. Feet are going to be below hips, maybe slightly wider. Our feet can point out if you want to, only a little bit. We're going to sit our butts down like we want to go into a low chair. And then we're going to shuffle side to side. Opposite hand reaches out towards opposite foot. Again, this is just the warm-up, so we can start nice and slow. You can go faster if you like to, but again, this is still just the warm-up. When I bend down to hit opposite hand, my hand to my opposite foot, as much as I can, try to sit down, like again, we're reaching our butt to a really low stool. Okay, we're sitting in a really low chair when we get down there. Perfect. Okay, let's come back to the middle. Let's go back to that squat position. So we talked about our lower body when we're squatting. Feet below the hips. My knees are going to be nice and strong. So when I say nice and strong, we're not caving in. So if I got that nice shape here, like a triangle, we want to make sure we keep that when we squat down. A nice tall chest. So think about being Superman or Superwoman. I'll fill my lungs with air. Take that gut punch. We're going to sit down, and we're just going to rock side to side. We're working on opening up our hips a little bit. So we're just going side to side, holding that squat position. Again, we don't want to feel our lower back arching, so again, building that arm and the core so it's super tight onto our core. Let's go a little bit lower if you can, and let's get those elbows inside the knees and just push them out a bit and still rock side to side. Now I'm just rocking slightly side to side, pushing those knees out with my elbow again. We're working on opening up the hips even more. Good. We're going to warm up our ankles and our calves. So just do a heel to toe walk, or I like to call a tightrope walk. So heel to toe, and I'm going to come down and up, high onto my toes as I can. Just do what you can in the space that you have. When you run out of space, walk backwards normally, and then we'll repeat. So again, we're just working on a little bit of balance and warming up our ankles and our calves. So heel to toe, trying to come up onto your toe. Hold it for a half second when you come up tall. Good, we'll walk back normally again. We're just going to do toe walks. So this one should be easier than the last one. We're just up onto our toes, standing nice and tall. We're going to walk forward. We're going to go eyes closed. So be aware of how much space you have and how many steps it took you last time. We'll go eyes closed, standing nice and tall. So we're really working on our balance this time with our eyes closed. When you feel like you've gone as far as you can, open your eyes, walk back. We'll do that one more time. So nice and tall onto our toes, close the eyes. Again, working on our balance, a little bit of proprioception. Good. When you feel like you've gone far enough, we can walk back. We're going to do an inchworm to a variation of the world's greatest stretch. So let's reach up super tall, like we want to grab something off of the ceiling. Then we're going to fold at the hips till our hands are on the floor. We're going to walk our hands forward until we're in push-up position. And then I'm going to go right foot beside right hand. My right hand is going to reach up to the ceiling like I'm trying to grab something off the ceiling. I'll pull something down and pretend I'm going to drop it in the basket, which is underneath my left arm. Right hand beside left hand. Right foot goes beside left foot, and then left foot comes beside left hand, or as close to it as I can. I'll reach up super tall, grab something off the ceiling, drop it in my basket underneath my opposite arm. Left hand beside right hand, left foot beside right foot, and then I'm going to walk my hands back. Push my hips up to the sky. We'll stand up tall, and then up super tall onto our toes. We're going to do that one more time. This time we fold forward. Let's focus on our hips as we're walking our hands out. So let's try not to have our hips swinging too much. So again, to avoid that, we've got to engage the core. So again, think about that gut punch or building the armor in here. This is what's going to keep our hips from swinging too much. So we're folding at the hips, hands are on the floor. Let's walk those hands forward until we're in push-up position. This time, let's drop down into a push-up, and then we'll go right foot beside right hand. Right hand reaches up super tall, super high, like we're going to grab something off the ceiling. That's whatever we grab, let's drop into our basket underneath the opposite side. Right hand's back onto the floor, right foot beside left foot. Let's do another push-up. And then left foot beside left hand. Left hand's looking to grab something off the ceiling and drop into our basket underneath the opposite hand. Left hand beside right hand. Left foot goes back beside right foot. And we're going to slowly walk our hips back, our hands back, hips up to the sky, and we'll stand tall. Perfect. We're going to go into, we'll do some stuff to open up our hips a little bit more. This one I like to call opening the gates. We'll take 2 steps to one side. I'm going to plant at this foot, and then my opposite leg, I'm going to bring that knee up nice and high and open it as wide as I can. 2 steps the other way, that knee comes up, I'm going to go all the way around, open as wide as I can. This leg, that's the stance leg, I want to keep that pointed straight forward. So if I think about having a laser pointing from my hips, my knees, and my ankles, the lights on the wall in front of me should all be pointed at the same spot, okay? So I'm not pointing them off to the side. We'll do one more. So we'll call those ones opening the gates because we came in and out. Now we need to do the opposite. We're going to close the gates. We'll start out wide, bring my knee back to the middle. Starting out wide and bringing my knee back to the middle. Same thing, my stance leg, I want to keep it as straight as possible or pointed straight forward. And then my shoulders are going to be level, so I'm not tilting over to a side or anything when I do this, just trying to stay super tall. We'll do one more. I did that backwards. Good. We're going to go back to the middle. We're into bear crawl. So for this one, hands are on the floor. Our feet are on the floor. We can start with our knees on the floor, but we're going to lift our knees off the floor. We're just going to move forward, opposite foot, opposite hand at the same time. When we do this, to make sure that everything stays stable, think about my back being a table. I'll take an imaginary drink, place it on my lower back. I want to think about trying not to spill that drink. So in order to do that, again, think about that gut punch. punch. So, hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips, knees off the floor, and we're going to go opposite hand, opposite foot moving forward. Opposite hand, opposite foot forward. Use the space you can. If you've run out of space already, just start walking backwards. Again, opposite hand, opposite foot forward. Let's move back because I'm running out of space. And again, think about, is that imaginary drink on your lower back? Is it balanced? I'm going to move forward again, and then we're going to try moving to the right. Opposite hand, opposite foot, still moving. I'm still balancing that drink on my lower back. Let's go back to the left. And we'll move backwards again. And time. Good. We're almost done with our warm-up. Everyone should feel the heart rate's up. We're starting to activate some of the muscles that we're going to be using. Hopefully we've opened up some of the sticky or stiff joints, so we've got a little bit more of a range of motion. We're just going to do pogo hops next. So think about if you were skipping, we're going to be jumping like that, or if our lower body was a pogo stick. So we want to be off the floor as quick as possible. So think if you're hopping over a bed of hot rocks and hot lava, your feet need to be off the floor as quick as possible. We're just going to do 15. You can do them at your own count. It's not about jumping super high on these ones. Again, it's about being off the floor as quick as you can, as springy as you can. And again, my knees are bent just a bit, but not a lot. Good. We're just going to do some speed squats. So we've gone over the squat technique already. Again, feet below the hips, nice tall chest, gut punch. Fill our lungs with air, so I'm showing off the logo on my shirt to the screen. We're going to squat down and up. We're going to do 10 of these a little bit faster though. When I squat down, I'm maintaining that shape with my lower body, or my legs, so I'm not collapsing my knees in when we squat down. Go for one more. Perfect. Same thing next, except we'll do squat jumps. So we're going to squat down. Nice strong knees, so again, they're not caving in. We're going to jump up. It's not really about how high you can jump, it's about having a nice soft landing. Okay? And again, when I squat down, the logo on my shirt, I'm showing off on the screen. When I land, let's see if we can have our logo showing to the wall in front of you, not towards the floor. Okay? So we'll all squat down, and then we're going to push up and jump. Come down nice and soft, and again, logo on my chest is pointed straight forward to the wall in front of me. We'll go again. So we're going to drop our butt down like we're sitting onto a low chair, and jump up, and then squat down nice and soft. We're going to do two more. Again, remember, it doesn't matter how high you jump jump as high as you like if you can, but again, we're just focusing on our landings right now. Let's sit our butts down low like we're on a chair, jump up, and then land nice and soft. Good. We're going to do one more. Last time, sitting our butts nice and low, like we're trying to sit on a really low chair, and up, and again, squat up, landing nice and soft. Last one of our warm-up, we'll have a chance to get a water break. We're going to do skater hops. We're just jumping side to side, off of one foot to the other. Again, just like in our squat jumps, the focus here doesn't have to be about how high or how far we jump. It's more about getting a little bit of explosion off of the push-off leg, and then landing nice and soft. And if you remember when we were squatting down, I said nice strong knees, so I've got that triangular shape in here. Same thing, it's just one leg. What we don't want to do is have our knees going all over the place when we land, okay? So you can start on any leg you want. I've got my left leg on the floor, my right knee is up to the sky. I can reach up if I want to. Pretend there's glass behind me, so I'm going to smash that glass behind me. I'll just hop to the side, land nice and tall, nice and soft. Okay? When we land, think about I'm in a phone booth. I can't tilt over too much. So I've got left knee up to the sky. I'm going to reach up tall, glass is behind me again. I'm going to break the glass behind me, and then jump over the opposite side. Again, soft landing. We'll do one more in each direction, so right knee up to the sky, hands up to the ceiling, like I want to pull something off the ceiling, smash that glass pane behind me, jump and land. Perfect. Last one, left knee up to the sky, we're up super tall, smash that glass pane behind, and jump and land. Perfect. We'll take a minute to a minute and 30, and then we're going to get into the main portion of our workout. So grab a drink. If you haven't done it yet, you can get your music set. You've seen the exercises that we're going to do, so feel free to adjust your pack, or if you have multiple kettlebells or dumbbells, have them ready. I'm going to set up a timer on my phone. I don't have a tripod to hold it up right in front of the screen, so I'll have it on the floor. You may or not be able to see it, but you should be able to hear it for sure. Again, 40 seconds work periods for exercises, 10 seconds in between paired exercises, and then we've got 20 seconds in between pairings. We've got about 20 seconds before we start our first exercise. Again, we're doing squat and press, and then RDL with a bent over row. So let's grab our weight, have that ready. I'm just going to set up the timer, and again, 40 seconds on, starting with squat and press. So we're on in 3, 2, 1, go. So again, my weight starts in front of my chest, sitting the butt down, like we're going to drop our bums to a nice low chair, pressing up through the heels. We're digging our heels into the floor like we want to break through the floor, and then punching that pack or kettlebell up to the sky. Again, if we look from the side, as much as I can, I'm keeping a nice tall chest when we squat down. So again, the logo on my shirt, I'm showing it off to the wall in front of me, not to the floor, and then punching my weight up through the ceiling. We're almost there, and time. 10 seconds, we're into RDLs with a bent over row. So feet hip width apart. Again, crush that can. 3, 2, 1. Folding at the hips, reaching the butt back. And then we're going to row in. 1, 2, 3. Snap those hips forward. We're down again, reaching the butt back like I want to hit the wall behind me. We're going to go down slow. Pull that weight into the chest. 3 times. Stand up super tall. Down again. Think about hitting the wall behind you with your butt. Rowing in 3 times. Standing up nice and tall. 10 more seconds here. We're folding at the hips slowly, reaching the butt back. When you row up, think about squeezing our shoulder blades together, and we're up tall. Good. We've got 20 seconds. And then we've got a glute bridge and press, plank and shoulder taps. You've got enough time to grab a quick drink if you like. Or we're on in 10 seconds. So we're going to be on the floor. We're on in 5. So feet in line with the hips. Let's dig those heels into the ground, push the hips up to the sky, and then we're pressing that pack up to the sky. Keep going. If you think about having a level on my hips, that level should be even. I can put that level on my hips, it's even, and I can put a level from my knees down to my shoulders, that should be even as well, okay? So we're nice and even, digging our heels into the floor still, and squeezing our bum cheeks as we press our weight up to the ceiling. Almost there. And time. Good. We'll put our pack down. We're going to go into push-up position right away. Let's get that imaginary drink up under our lower back. Good. Nice and flat. Opposite hand touching opposite shoulder. Again, if you can see the screen, I'm trying to go as slow as I can. And remember, we've got an imaginary drink on our lower back. So we're balancing that drink on our back. Think about building that armor in our core. We're ready to take that gut punch as we go side to side. As it starts to get harder, I'm inclined to move my hands down faster. Try not to do that if you can. Maybe make a wider base with your feet, make it a little bit easier. And time, good. 20 seconds. This is an opportunity to take a little bit of weight out of your pack if you need to, or stay the same if you'd like. We've got that overhead press with a reverse lunge, and then we're doing our lateral shuffles. We're on in 5 seconds, so grab your weight, walk that arm straight out, up to the ceiling, opposite foot steps back, pressing my knee up to the sky. Good. I'm standing nice and tall when I lunge down and back, and again, I want to keep my hips level. Think about those laser pointers I talked about. They're pointed straight forward. We're halfway done. Let's switch over to the other arm. Other leg is stepping back, driving that knee up to the ceiling. Lights for my hips, knees, and ankles pointed straight forward at a spot on the wall in front of me. I'm really smashing my knee up into the sky. Time, we got 10 seconds. We're gonna do our lateral shuffle and touch. We did this one in the warm-up. We're gonna try to go a little bit faster here. So squat down and start. Opposite hand, touching down to opposite foot. Same thing, as much as I can. I'm bending at the knees, really sitting my butt down onto a low chair when I touch opposite hand to opposite foot, as opposed to standing tall and folding at the hips. We got 15 seconds here. Try to move as quick as you can. Time, good. 20 seconds, and then we've got our last pairing of exercises. This is our lateral lunge and press, followed by a side plank. We're on in 10 seconds. So grab your pack. We're on in 3, 2, 1. Good. So weight in front of my chest, stepping out to the side, punching the sky with my weight. Step out to the opposite side. Punch out, digging this heel into the floor, standing nice and tall. Sitting my butt low onto a chair. So again, my chest is tall. When we're doing this, I don't want to show the logo of my shirt to the floor. We want to show it to the wall in front of us. Again, think about those lights coming from my hips, knees, and ankles. They should be pointing relatively straight forward again. And time. Good, let's get ready for that plank. Side plank. Stack our shoulders, my hips, and we're up. So one elbow is directly below the shoulder, this shoulder is directly above. My hips are stacked, so this would mean one's too far forward, that's too far back. So I've got my hips stacked, my shoulders stacked, and I'm super tight in the core. We're at 23 seconds, so we're gonna flip over now. Same thing on the other side. We'll get that elbow below the shoulder, top shoulder's above the bottom shoulder, top hip above the bottom hip. And again, we're still building that armor in the core, even though it just feels like it's just on one side. We're super tight in the core for that gut punch. And time. Good. Grab a drink, that's the first round done. We'll go through it again. We'll take a minute 30. So we made it through one round. We've got 2 more to go. So this is your chance to choose and decide. You want to add some weight, maybe get ahead of your kettlebell or dumbbell, or you want to reduce some weight. That's completely up to you. But we've got about just over 30 seconds. We decide if you want to go lighter or heavier, or stay the same. We're back into our squat and press with our RDL and our row. When we're squatting, we're going to go down slow. You don't have to count out loud, but think about it: down for a count of 3, and then up quick, and then punch our weight up to the sky. Same thing with the RDL. We're pushing our hips back for a count of 3, and then rowing in 3 times nice and quick, exploding and snapping our hips forward. Okay, we're on in 10 seconds, so pick up your weight. Get ready for that squat. We've got 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're squatting down nice and slow. Think about a 3 count. Explode up, and then weight up to the sky. Squatting down again. Punching that weight up to the sky. We're sitting our butts low onto a chair, keeping that chest nice and tall. Again, I'm tightening the core the whole way through, so think about building that armor, especially when I'm reaching all the way above my head. I don't want to be arching my lower back. So we got to build that armor in my core. Take that, get ready to take a gut punch. And time. Ready for our RDLs. Standing with our feet below the hips. 3, 2, 1. Go. Folding at the hips. Reaching my butt back. And then we're going to row in 3 times. Think about putting my shoulder blades together. Standing up nice and tall. Reaching those hips back. I want to hit my butt against the wall behind me. Rowing in. When we're rowing, think about having some oranges in your armpits. We're trying to squeeze those oranges to make some orange juice. Reaching my hips back again. Like I want to hit the wall behind me. Rowing in 3 times. Standing up nice and tall. Again, we'll fold forward. We have enough time to get 3 more rows in. And stand up nice and tall. 20 seconds. And then we're into our glute bridge and press with our plank shoulder taps. So again, we're on our backs. We'll have our hips, knees, and feet in a line. We're on in 5 seconds. So let's dig those heels into the floor like you want to break them through, pressing those hips up to the sky, and we can start pressing. Again, I don't want to arch my lower back, so think about having a level coming from my knee, my hip to my shoulder. It should be balanced. Same thing if I had one across my hips. If you get tired, you can always just drop your hips down to the floor and keep pressing. Or I can hold my hips up and I can just hold the pack on my chest without arching my lower back. So again, thinking about taking that gut punch the entire time through. And time. Good. We are into our plank shoulder taps. 3. So we're in push-up position and start opposite hand, going over to opposite shoulder as slow as we can. If you get tired on this one, you can always drop your knees to the floor and try to keep going. Or you can just hold that push-up position. Again, make sure that my hands are below my shoulders. Again, remember, we've got that imaginary drink on our lower back. We're using our backs as if it was a table, so I should be super flat the entire time, not swaying over side to side. And time, good. 20 seconds, and then we're into our reverse lunge. So pressing our weight straight up to the sky for a reverse lunge, and then driving that knee up to the ceiling. You can start either side you want. I'm going to start with the weight in my right hand. We're on in 5 seconds. So let's extend the arm all the way up. Stepping back with the left leg. My right heel digs into the ground. I punch that left knee up to the sky. Maybe I've got a glass plate or piece of wood that I want to think about driving my knee through. We're halfway, so let's switch over Left hand straight up to the sky, stepping back with my right foot. Smashing my right knee up into the sky. I'm standing nice and tall, so I think about having my shoulders balanced. I want to keep it that way. I want to dip over to the side while my shoulders are nice and level. Good, we've got a lateral lunge and touch coming up in 3 seconds. So let's squat down and go side to side, opposite hand, touching down, opposite foot. As much as we can. We're staying low. Remember, when I reach down, that logo on my t-shirt, I want to show it off to the wall in front of me, not to the floor. So we're trying to keep somewhat of a tall chest when we reach down to touch our opposite hand, opposite foot. 5 more seconds here. Then we'll get a quick break. And time. Good. 20 seconds. If you need to, grab a really quick drink. We're going to lateral lunge and press. My weight is starting in front of the chest, and we're punching it straight out. We've got 5 seconds, and we're on again. So let's grab that weight in front of the chest, and go out to the side, sitting our butts low into a chair, and then punching that weight straight forward. Again, on these ones, really make sure that I'm still showing off that logo on my t-shirt to the wall in front of me and not to the floor. We've got just over 10 seconds left here. If it starts to get too tiring, you don't have to do the punch all the way out. You can just hold your pack. 10 seconds, we're in for a side plank. So again, let's stack those shoulders. Push our hips up to the sky if you need to. I can have my bottom knee on the floor. My hips are still stacked, my shoulders stacked. That's up to you. But I'm holding it nice and tight. So again, that gut punch, I'm ready for it. Okay, flip over, same thing. So again, do a check to make sure your hips are stacked. My elbow is below my shoulder, and we are building that armor in our core. And time. Good. Take another minute and a half, that's round 2. We'll go through it all again once more. So grab a drink. We've got one more round. I'll leave this up to you to decide what you want to do with your weight. If you feel like you can get some more out of that, add some more weight. If you feel like you're going strong but you don't want to push it too much, certainly feel free to take a little bit of weight out. Okay, we've got 40 seconds and we're on again, starting with that lateral lunge and press. So we got 20 more seconds, so let's grab our pack, our dumbbell, our kettlebell, let's get our feet set so we're in that starting position. And we're ready to go again. Feet are below the hips. Gut punch. Fill our lungs with air. So proud chest. We're ready to go in 5 seconds. Good. Sending our butts low into a chair. Standing up tall. Punching our weight up to the sky. Down nice and slow. Lifting our weight up through the ceiling. Think about pressing your weight through that ceiling. Sending your butt low onto a chair, explode off that chair, and then punch that weight up through the ceiling. Float off the chair, punch that weight to the ceiling. Again, as I'm exploding that weight up through the ceiling, remember, I've got that armor in my core the entire time, so my core is engaged. We got time for one more. Good. We're into our RDLs. So again, we're going to fold at the hips. 3, 2, 1, go. Reaching, folding at the hips, reaching the bum back. I'm going to hit the wall behind me. And let's throw in. 1, 2, 3, and then snap those hips forward. Folding at the hips, reaching our bum to the wall behind, and we'll row up again. I've got oranges in my armpits, and I got to squeeze those oranges to make orange juice. Stand up nice and tall, fold at the hips, reach the butt back, and rowing in 3 times, standing nice and tall. We've got time for one more. Slowly folding at the hips, really reach that bum back, and then row in 3 times, and time. Good. 20 seconds. We're on the floor for a glute bridge and press. Again, we're almost halfway through our last round, so let's keep it up. We've got 5 seconds, and we're on again. So we're on our backs. 3, 2, 1, go. Hips up to the sky, pressing that pack up to the ceiling. Really squeezing our butt cheeks to the top, digging our heels into the floor like we want to press them through the floor. Think about if you're on a soft piece of wood, and you want to really stomp your feet through there. You're going to dig those heels in and punch that pack up to the ceiling. And again, I've got that armor in my core the whole time. And time. Last one on our plank shoulder taps. We're in push-up position. Let's take that imaginary drink, place it on our lower back, and go. Opposite hand, opposite foot. Since this is our last round, let's challenge ourselves. Let's see if we can get our feet closer together than wherever you had them last time. But keep those hips nice and even. And we're going to go nice and slow, opposite hand, opposite shoulder, back down to the floor. Since our feet are close together, and it's a lot more challenging, we really got to build that armor in our core to keep our hips nice and tight. And let's not forget, we've got a drink on our lower back that we're trying to balance. So we've really got to be tight in our core. 3 seconds here, and time. Good. 20 seconds. We're into our reverse lunge with an overhead hold. And then after that, we've got a lateral shuffle. Last time on this one as well. So really try to make sure we lock out our elbow the whole time and our hips stay level, so I'm not tilting to either side. Ready? We're on in 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'm starting with my right hand up to the ceiling, left foot steps back, and then I'm punching that left knee up into the sky. You can already feel my right hand, my right elbow starting to bend. So I really got to work to press that elbow up to the sky and keep my hips level. We're halfway done. Let's flip over. Other hand, so my left hand is straight up to the sky. Right foot steps back. Punching that right knee up to the ceiling. Again, think about those laser pointers I talked about coming from your hips. They should be level. If I'm tilting to the side, good, that's time. Ready for our lateral shuffle. On in 5 seconds, so let's squat down and go. Opposite hand, opposite foot. Good stuff. This is our last round of these exercises. So we're going to push to the end if we feel like we're getting tired. Who knows? Maybe a lot of us are probably more fit than I am, so you're not tired yet. So keep going quick if you feel that way. If you're starting to feel tired, make sure you keep moving and just keep good forward. And time. Good. 20 seconds. We're into our last grouping, last pairing. Lateral lunge and press with side plank. We're on in 5 seconds, so let's get that weight in front of our chest. Get into that squat position. I'm stepping out to the right, punching my bag out. Stepping out to the other side, punching that bag out. The foot that steps out, I'm going to dig that heel into the floor to stand nice and tall. I'm shooting up back to the middle. Again, keeping my chest nice and tall. So logo on my t-shirt, even though I'm hiding it, I'm still pointing it straight at the wall in front of me. We've got 10 seconds here, we're almost done. If we're starting to get tired, really think about that armor in the core. Time. Good. Side plank. Stack our shoulders, stack our hips. And we're up. If we want more of a challenge, we can go into a star plank. So now, I'm lifting my top foot straight up to the ceiling, but my hips are still stacked, my shoulders stacked. And I'm trying to make a level, super straight, from my foot to my hip to my shoulder. Halfway, let's flip over to the other side. Same thing. We're holding a regular plank, dropping down to one knee, or going into that star plank. Good stuff. We're almost there. And time. Good job. Okay, we'll take 2 minutes, and then we'll go through our finisher. So grab a drink, catch your breath, take a look at this screen in about 10 seconds, and I'll show you what we're doing for our finisher. So, it's up to you if you want to use the same weight that you had or go lighter. We're going to start with kettlebell swings, using a backpack or a kettlebell or a dumbbell or whatever you have. The third exercise, we're going to need a weight that's definitely going to be lighter than what we've got. So, I'm going to pull out the biggest textbook I have, so that it's heavy enough for the last exercise, but this backpack on its own is going to be too heavy. So we're going to do 3 exercises. We're going to work for 30 seconds. We're going to go back to back to back. I'll set the timer to have 5 seconds in between each. So 30 seconds, 5 seconds, we can flip over and get ready for the next exercise. 30 seconds, 5 flipping, and then 30 seconds. We're going to go through that twice. So we're going to do kettlebell swings. So for this one, grab the handles of your kettlebell or the handles of your backpack. Keeping, again, my core is engaged, so build that armor in here. And then all I'm doing is I'm snapping my hips forward, and then my backpack comes shooting up. My arms aren't really doing the work, it's my hips snapping forward. That's bringing the backpack up. We're going to do that for 30 seconds. We'll go into lunge jumps. So we've already done reverse lunges. Similar thing, I'm going to step back into our reverse lunge, drop the back knee down. Again, nice and even with those laser pointers coming from my hips, and balancing something on my shoulders. I'm just going to jump up and switch which foot is forward. Okay, we're going to continuously jump up, but again, staying as balanced as possible in the shoulders and the hips. If you start to get tired, keep moving. Just do a reverse lunge like we were doing before. It's something we can do with no weight. So we'll start in jumps, but you can switch to reverse lunge if you need to. Our last one, we're just going to go into a B sit. So, proud chest, fill the lungs with air, super tight in the core, my weight is going to be straight up above my head, and then we're just going to do halos. So we're making circles with our lighter weight. When I make these circles, my hips shouldn't be moving. When we're halfway, I'll say switch, we'll go in the opposite direction. Okay? We got a little bit more of a break in 2 minutes, so I think we should be ready to go all out on our finisher. 30 seconds each exercise, 2 rounds total. So it's not that bad. Okay. Our timer's set to 30 seconds, 5 seconds rest in between. We're on in 5 seconds, starting with kettlebell swings. So we're going to go a little bit wider than hip width apart on our stance and crushing that building that armor in our guts. On in 3 seconds. Ready, and go. Snapping those hips forward, but my lower back is staying nice and neutral because I've got a really tight core because I'm building that armor the whole way through. Good. Halfway done on this one. Snapping those hips forward, and then my core is engaged on the way down, and that's what's stopping the weight. 3 seconds, and time. 5 seconds, we're in the lunge jumps. We're getting to a split stance. Ready, and go. 30 seconds, we're jumping, switching, which foot is forward. So this one, you don't have to worry about jumping too high. Try to keep your shoulders and hips as balanced as possible. We're over halfway. If you need to, you can switch to just stepping back into a reverse lunge. Whatever you like. 5 more seconds. And time. Good. 5 seconds. On the floor, into that V-sit position, super tight, and go. So again, shoulder blades are back. Got a proud chest, fill our lungs with air. And we're building that armor in our core. Halfway, we're going to go in the opposite direction. So we're making circles with whatever weight we have. Let's try to go a little bit bigger with the circles without moving our hips. And time, good. 1 minute, we're going to go through it again, and then we're into our cool down. So last round for our finisher. We're almost done for the day. Grab a quick drink. This is our last set of work. So 90 seconds total of work, and then we're done for the day. On our second round, when we do our V-sits, if you want to make it more challenging, you can bring your heels just off the floor. Now when I make those circles, my hips and my knees really want to start moving. So you got to be tight in here to make sure that I'm not swinging around side to side. And also make sure that I don't start rounding. So shoulder blades are back, and we're super tight when we do that. Okay, we've got about 10 seconds starting with kettlebell swings. So feet just a little bit wider than the hips. Build that armor in the core. We're on in 5 seconds. Ready, and go. Snapping those hips forward. Really shooting that weight up, but again, the weight comes up from my hips and my lower body doing all the work. My arms are kind of just there along with the ride, adding a little bit of support. We're over halfway. Really think about snapping those hips forward, and again, doing that gut punch thing when we come back down. And time. Lunge jumps into a split stance, one leg forward, ready, and go. Just switching whichever foot is forward. Trying to stay as level as I can for my shoulders and my hips. We're halfway. Almost done. Keep that chest nice and tall. So I'm showing off the logo on my shirt to the wall in front of me, even though I'm getting tired. 3 more seconds. And time, good. On the floor, we're into that V-sit. Your choice if your heels are on the floor or if they're up off the floor. But we're doing circles. Again, shoulder blades are back. Nice and tight in the core, so we're ready for that gut punch. We're making slow circles. Go in the opposite direction because we're halfway done. My hands are moving, my shoulders are moving, but ideally nothing else is. So my hips and knees, my feet, even though they're off the floor, are straight. 3 more seconds, and time. Good stuff. Okay, grab a quick drink, and then we're going to go into a cool down. So as we do this, you just want to make sure that we keep moving a little bit since our heart rate is up so high. When we're ready, all we want to do is, in whatever space we have, let's just walk back and forth. And to try to help bring our heart rate down and our breathing rate down, let's start to do a little bit of slower, deep breaths. So we'll go in through the nose and then out through the mouth. We do 2 more of those really slow, deep breaths. And our last one, you can keep moving if you want to, or you can stand still. We're just going to reach our arms up to the sky. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And then as we exhale, we'll bring our arms down. Up to you, depending on how your heart rate is feeling and how your breathing is feeling. You can keep moving around nice and slowly, or you can stand stationary in one spot. It's up to you. We're going to bring one arm out, across the chest, and tuck it in nice and tight. Good. We'll switch over to the other side. So again, arms out across the chest. Let's pull it in nice and tight with the opposite hand. Bring one hand up to the ceiling, fold at the elbow, and with my hand's going to grab the elbow, and then just pull, just gently pull the elbow back to stretch out our triceps. Good, we'll switch to the other side. Hopefully, for most of us, it feels like our breathing is starting to come down. Okay, we're going to fold at the hips. And we're just going to let our arms hang down to the floor. We're not straining to reach the floor. I'm just going to let my arms dangle and reach down towards the floor. I'm just stretching out the lower back, nice and gently. Good. We'll stand up nice and tall. We'll lift one foot up, tuck it into the bum. If you need to put a hand on the wall, feel free. We're just stretching out our hip flexors and our quads. We'll switch over to the other side. We're going to stretch out our calves. So find a sturdy piece of furniture or a wall. Our back leg is going to be straight, and we're just digging our back heel into the floor. We'll switch the other side. So same thing, back leg is straight, digging that back heel into the floor. Okay, we'll take a seat on the floor. Let's tuck one leg is straight, tuck one foot in, and we're going to reach out towards that toe. If you can grab it, great. If not, great, doesn't matter. We're just reaching out, nice and easy. Got a little bit of a stretch in the back of our legs here. If you need help getting a little bit further, we put our head down, take a deep breath out. Good. We'll switch the other side. Last one here, we're just going to go both legs forward. One leg comes over top of the other, opposite elbow to the outside of the opposite knee. We're just going to twist into that press. We'll switch over to the other side, so the same thing. One leg comes up over top of the other, opposite elbow to the outside of that opposite knee, and just twist. So, I want to thank everyone for joining me in today's class. Again, be sure to check out and follow the CFNWS YouTube channel, where you'll be able to find many more PSP-led fitness classes and PSP content. And one last reminder, if anyone did sustain any injuries, please be sure to fill out the CF98. All right, thanks again. Take care.